Melissa Gilbert was born on May 8, 1964 in Los Angeles, California, which is the heart of the movie and TV world. Her birth parents were David Darlington and Kathy Wood. When she was born, her biological parents didn't have much money and weren't sure they could give her everything a child needs. They wanted what was best for their baby daughter, so they made the really hard choice to let someone else adopt her. This loving decision ended up leading Melissa to a life in show business. Melissa was adopted super quickly, just one day after she was born. Two actors named Paul Gilbert and Barbara Crane became her new parents. Paul Gilbert had been an actor for many years, and Barbara Crane was both an actress and a dancer. Barbara's dad was Harry Crane, a famous comedy writer who helped create some of TV's best shows. Growing up with these parents meant Melissa was around acting, dancing, and Hollywood stuff from the very start. When Melissa was 8 years old, her adoptive parents got divorced, which was a big change for her. Later, Barbara married a man named Harold Abels, but they also got divorced. From that marriage, Melissa got a half-sister named Sarah Rebecca Abels, who was born on January 29, 1975. Sarah later changed her name to Sarah Gilbert and became famous on the TV show Roseanne. Sadly, Melissa's adoptive dad, Paul Gilbert, died on February 13, 1976 from a stroke. This meant young Melissa had to grow up without him. Even with these tough times, she was raised in the Jewish religion and learned its customs and beliefs, though she never officially converted. This spiritual background became an important part of who she was. Even when she was really little, Melissa showed amazing talent as a performer. Because her adoptive parents worked in Hollywood, she got to learn about acting early. She started doing commercials, and one of her first was for Alpo dog food with the famous actor Lauren Green. These early jobs helped her get better at acting and taught her how tough and competitive Hollywood can be. Melissa's biggest break came when she got cast as Laura Less, the second oldest daughter of Charles Less, played by Michael Landon, in the NBC show Little House on the Prairie. More than 500 kids tried out for this role. But Melissa's natural charm and talent won her the part. She found out she got the role from Leslie Landon, who was Michael Landon's daughter and went to the same school as Melissa. Her brother, Jonathan Gilbert, also joined the show and played Willie Olson. They started making the show in 1973, and it aired from 1974 to 1983. Over the years, this period drama became hugely popular with viewers of all ages. Melissa's performance as Laura made audiences love her, and she became famous all across America. While Little House on the Prairie was the biggest part of her early career, Melissa also acted in movies and other TV shows. She had important roles in well-known productions like The Miracle Worker in 1979, The Diary of Anne Frank in 1980, Splendor in the Grass in 1981, and Choices of the Heart in 1983, where she played a humanitarian named Jean Donovan. As she got older, she took on more grown-up roles in shows like Choices in 1986 and A Family of Strangers in 1993. She also did voice acting for cartoons, most famously voicing Batgirl in Batman, the animated series in the 1990s. In 1996, she was in 3 episodes of Babylon 5 playing Anna Sheridan, acting with her husband at the time, Bruce Boxleitner. Melissa's career had some bumps along the way too. Some of her projects didn't do well, like Little House, A New Beginning in 1982, Stand By Your Man in 1992, and Sweet Justice in 1994. But she kept going and tried all different kinds of roles. In 2006, she appeared on the TV show Nip/Tuck as Chernobyl, a patient getting cosmetic surgery, showing she was willing to try challenging and mature material. Melissa also went back to her Little House roots in a new way. Between 2008 and 2009, she played Caroline Ma in a musical version of Little House on the Prairie, directed by Francesca Zambalou. The show started at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis and then toured around the country, ending at the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri in June 2010. This let her reconnect with fans in live theater and showed how dedicated she still was to the story that made her famous. In 2009, Melissa wrote her autobiography called Prairie Tale, a memoir where she shared personal stories about her time in Hollywood, her family, and how she grew as both an actor and a person. She kept acting in different projects, including the Christmas pageant in 2011, and even tried dancing when she competed on the 14th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2012 with her partner, professional dancer Maxim Shmerkovsky. She did great performances and was eliminated on her birthday in the 8th episode, showing she had resilience, grace, and competitive spirit. Melissa's goals went beyond just entertainment. On August 10, 2015, she announced she was running for the United States House of Representatives from Michigan's 8th Congressional District in the 2016 elections. But she had to drop out of the race because of health problems from a spinal injury. Besides acting and trying to serve in government, she also became a producer and director. She started her own production company called Half Pint Productions, which let her have creative control over projects and help other artists. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been closely tied to her relationships, especially her marriages, which show different chapters of her life and growth. Her first marriage was to actor Bo Brinkman in 1988. Brinkman was known for his work on TV and in theater, and he became an important person in Melissa's life during a key time in her adulthood as she went from being a child star to a grown-up actress figuring out Hollywood and who she was. Their marriage had problems, which happens a lot when both people have demanding careers that need long hours and public attention. After 6 years of marriage, the couple decided to split up, and their divorce was final in 1994. Even though their relationship didn't last, it was an important time in Melissa's journey to understand what she needed in a partner and in life. Melissa's second marriage happened soon after when she married Bruce Boxleitner in 1995. Boxleitner was a well-known actor famous for his roles in science fiction TV shows like Babylon 5 and Scarecrow and Mrs. King. He and Melissa had a strong connection, both in their work and personally. Their marriage lasted 16 years, during which they dealt with the challenges of blending families, careers, and public attention. Together, they became a very visible Hollywood couple, supporting each other in their acting work and personal projects. Even though they admired each other and shared a lot of experiences, the marriage ended in 2011. Their divorce showed how hard it can be to keep a long-term relationship going when you're in the public eye, where pressures from careers, family responsibilities, and personal growth can put strain on even the strongest relationships. In 2013, Melissa found love again when she married Timothy Busfield, a talented actor and director known for his work on shows like The West Wing and 30-something. This marriage represented a more stable and mature chapter in her life. By this time, Melissa had lots of life experience and understood herself and what she needed better than in her earlier marriages. Timothy, with his calm personality and creative background, complemented Melissa's energy and artistic talents, creating a partnership built on mutual respect, friendship, and shared values. Their marriage has been marked by strong emotional support, working together, and a sense of partnership that shows the lessons Melissa learned from her earlier relationships. At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally opened up in an honest and very personal way about her relationship with her longtime Little House on the Prairie co-star, Melissa Sue Anderson, sharing insights that fans had wondered about for a long time but never fully understood. In interviews, Gilbert spoke openly, saying that the bond she had with Anderson was complicated, had many layers, and was sometimes challenging. "We had a connection from the very beginning," Gilbert said. "Being on Little House on the Prairie at such a young age, we were thrown into a world of fame and people watching us, and that creates a unique kind of friendship, but it wasn't always smooth sailing." Her words hint at how intense it was to grow up in front of cameras and the pressures that often come with being a child star. Gilbert explained more, saying that while their characters on screen showed perfect family and friend relationships, what happened behind the scenes was much more complicated. "People saw us as perfect little girls with perfect lives. But the truth is we were just kids trying to navigate a really unusual environment," she admitted. Melissa Gilbert also thought about how time changes relationships. She talked about how their friendship evolved, noting that as they got older, both she and Anderson faced their own personal struggles, career challenges, and moments of figuring out who they were. "We each had our own paths," Gilbert explained. "Sometimes those paths went in different directions, and that's natural. You can care for someone deeply and still need to find yourself apart from them." Gilbert's honesty shows a mature understanding of how relationships change, especially ones formed under such special circumstances. She stressed that there was never any anger or bad feelings between them, but rather a recognition that growing up together in the spotlight creates a unique bond that doesn't always follow normal friendship patterns. Throughout her reflection, Gilbert expressed huge respect and admiration for Anderson's talents and character. "Melissa Sue is one of the most genuine, talented people I've ever known," she said. "Working alongside her taught me so much about professionalism, patience, and the power of quiet strength." Gilbert remembered moments on set when Anderson's dedication and focus inspired her to push herself further both as an actress and as a person. She also talked about the friendship they shared with other cast members, describing the sense of family that developed among the actors, crew, and producers. But she didn't avoid acknowledging that the intense schedule, long hours, and public attention could also make small tensions bigger. Being constantly observed as a child changes you, Gilbert reflected. There were moments of jealousy, misunderstanding, and insecurity, but that's part of growing up in a world that doesn't give you space to just be a kid. Gilbert went on to explain why she chose this moment at 61 to finally speak so openly. "I think age gives you perspective," she shared. "When you're young, you hold on to feelings and judgments in ways that can distort reality. Now I can look back and see the whole picture with clarity. I can appreciate our shared history, all the good and the challenging moments, without needing to defend or explain myself to anyone." Her statement connects with many people who have followed her career, showing a vulnerability and deep thinking that is both relatable and very human. It's clear that Gilbert's decision to speak about Anderson now isn't meant to settle old arguments or relive conflicts, but to honor the complexity of a lifelong connection that has shaped both women's lives. Finally, Gilbert's comments remind fans that relationships formed in childhood, especially under the spotlight of fame, are often misunderstood by the public. People assume that because you work together on a show, you're automatically best friends forever, she noted. But friendship is not just about circumstance. It's about compatibility, timing, and shared experiences. Melissa, Sue, and I shared some of the most important years of our lives together. And that bond will always exist, even if it looks different now than it did then. Gilbert's reflections are a touching reminder of the lasting impact of early experiences, the strength needed to navigate public life, and the complex truths behind the seemingly perfect image of childhood stardom. Her honesty is a tribute not just to Anderson, but to the many friendships that grow, change, and endure in ways that may not always be visible to the outside world.